Hi everyone, Dr. Olmstead here, making a video for accessing the Holt McDougall Online. This is the online help that we can use for our Go Math book and our standards that we're using this year. Haven't really used it much this year. Tried once earlier in the Schoology file, the school choice for Go Math choice. There you'll find the login information. You'll find out how to set up your username. That's already done. How to set up your password is your student ID. And the website, of course, is my.hrw.com. And there's a couple of sections that you need to look at. You have a home button here. This is your dashboard, as it's called. And so that's going to be your home. There's a help link to that, so you can use some help features. It's okay. It's not the greatest, but it works. And of course, logging out over here. The biggest area that you're going to use are My Resources and My Assignments. The My Progress reports are reports after things are graded that you're going to get feedback. So you're going to see what's going on there. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these areas and describe these in detail. So here is the Interactive Student Edition. So you click on that and you get a screen that comes up that looks like this. Over here on the left hand side, you're going to pick the unit. So we're in ratios and proportions right now, but we have all the other ones that are available too. And then you'll see that the module area changes, module 4 or 5. So this week we're going to be working on the module 4, which is ratios and proportionality. And then as you click on that, then you can see here that you have unit rates in lesson 4.1, 4.2, and 4.3 are all populated. They're all pretty much set up the same way. So I'm only going to show you one. So let's go to unit rates. So you have this screen that is going to load up, and this is what it's going to look like. You're going to see, you can't see it right now, up top it tells you the lesson, that you're engaging with this. There's a video that you're going to play. Some buttons for you to be aware of. There's a a menu button. There's a tools, comes up with various little tools. So as you can see, the geometric sketcher, there's integer counters, strip diagrams, fraction decimal grids, algebra tiles, graphing calculator, fraction strips, and a scientific calculator. So that's available for you. There's over here is the glossary. I clicked on that. So basically this is the dictionary. So if you type in, so let's see, we're doing unit rates. So I'm going to go click on U for unit rates. I'm going to come down here. I click on unit rate and it will change over. And it gives you 10 centimeters per minute as an example. They give you a unit rate, a rate at which the second quantity of the comparison is 1 unit. So that's the glossary. That's helpful for you if you wish. This is a progression bar down here as you're going through. You're primarily going to use the next button. You have a volume control. You can do closed caption here if you wish. Okay. So I'm just going to go show a little bit about here.
To learn how to understand.
Okay, so I want to just stop that. I'm going to move on to the next one.
Rate.
So they'll do highlights for you and things like that. And I'd like to point out over here that during this particular lesson, they have a, it's called Math on the Spot button that you can click. And what that will do is that will bring up a video. And I just clicked ahead a little bit to show you some things that an example that he's using there. So this is available for you also. So if I come to the next one, so the personal math trainer gives you some examples. I'll go into it momentarily, but you have to click in on that. As you can see, what it does is it comes up with a couple problems that they want you to go ahead and work through. But what's nice about this is that you can view an example. It can show you step by step. It's got a link to take you directly to the textbook. It's a PDF file, but it does help you. And if you wanted to, you could print it out. I don't recommend it because if you do all the work in here, then everything is recorded. Down here at the bottom, there's viewer help. They'll tell you about all the buttons and the commands. If you had a problem, you would report it here because that goes directly to HMH. Check your answer, what the next one is, and then submitting it. So this kind of is a nice little tool. What you can't see is that it says up top here, Personal Math Trainer Lesson 4.1 Practice. So now I'm going to go on to the next one. So the same thing, you need to click in on this. Again, up top, it gives you a bunch of problems now. I haven't determined if this matches up exactly to homework or it's just more additional practice for you. So one of the things that you have to do, again, you still have to view by example, step by step, textbook, you can print, submit, check your answer. See, this might be hard to see, but there's 2 boxes in here, okay? So what you do is you click on the first one. So we're going to 1.5, we're going to go to 1, so this is going to double. So I just click on my box here, and you see what happens, that this comes up, okay? You'll get kind of used to it, but this one here tells you if you want to add a fraction, or if you want to add plus or minus, or if you're going to be doing a formula, okay? So we're just going to close that for now. And I'm just going to type in, it'll be 19, and then I'm going to go to the next one. And now here I need to go, so 19 plus 9 and 19, 28 and a half, right? So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to type in 28. And then I come over here and I click on this and it changes. Click up top, click down here, and that's how I'm going to put in my fractions. Okay, so as you work with it, you'll get to go. I can go on, finish this out, I can check my answer. And then that concludes that particular lesson. So each of the lessons are pretty much set out the same way. Okay, and that's how you can use these to help out during this distance learning. Okay, I've gone back to the dashboard and I'm at the student edition. So it's similar but different. I think I kind of like the student edition because what it does is it actually calls up the book that you guys are used to using. If I go over here on the left hand side, I'm going to go to contents to kind of show you that. You can see the arrows and the X boxes and all that stuff for moving. So if I'm going to take you back to the beginning, front matter, the various units, we're in unit 2 for ratios and proportions. And we're going to look at the module 4. You have other things that you can look at. And I'm going to go to 4.1. Okay, so I'm clicking there. And as you can see, your book, your pages pop up. I have this all on PDF in each of the modules in the regular materials and Schoology that we've been using. But we have a lot of things that are going on up in here that we can use. You have a page back button there. You have a page forward here. Okay, so that changes your pages. As you can see, we have this up top here is called a bookmark. Kind of hard to see it, but it's right there. It's turned solid blue. So I've now bookmarked that if you want to do that before you leave. So when you come back, you can come back and look at your bookmarks. So today on page 117, I bookmarked that. And you can unbook it if you want to. As you can see, you can go through, you can read these things, but might be a little difficult to see. And I haven't figured out how to blow up the screen itself. I can get everything else to enlarge, but I can't get this to enlarge. So I'm trying to move around my cursor so you can see that. And there's a couple of things that are going on here. You're going to see on various pages, there's this box. I think it's like a Q, and it's for questions. And notice I click on that, and notice what happens. On page 117, this question, explore rates, and it comes up with that same question you were just looking at. And then here you can type in the work, and that's kind of important, all right? So if you want to figure it out, you want to do it on paper, and then come in here and type in, show your work. Please, please, please show your work. Okay, and then give me your answer. Also down here, if you notice, it says my notebook. So click to save my notebook, and I'm going to talk about that feature. So I have my notebook clicked, and when you move on from here, the work is going to be saved into a page in your My Notebook. Now what this does is that it allows you to save your work, and it allows me to go in and see the work and close that. Notice how the cursor is changing to a finger, and that too, so you don't have to click right on that. You can click pretty much on any of this here, and the same thing comes up. If I go to the next page, I have the same thing here where there's this reflect question. I click on that, and the next page, the exploring, and then everything that's on that page, what it'll do, if you notice down here at the bottom, I can click the next, and it'll go to the next question. Okay, in that particular thing. So question 1 is right up here in the top, and then if I click down, and then it's going to go for question 2. So you have a means here of being able to record that information. I can click it to save my notebook. If again, you don't have to save everything. The thing I like about the student edition versus the other one, here's this Math on Spot again. It uses another video, but it goes through the same work. It's a different layout. It's the same video, but there's other things that go on here. You're going to see some information here. There's English, so let me start this. You can close caption on or off if you want. Professor Edward Berger. We can go to Spanish if we desire. There's Espanol. Well, key objective, what's that is. They're writing this out up here while he's talking about it. And here's that definition for what rate is. So it gives you kind of some nice things that you can look at. The next one here is the personal math trainer. It's going to take you to some practice problems laid out step by step. Okay, so it kind of shows you where you're going to go through this here after you work a problem. They got pull down menus, some fill in the blanks or whatever is working, where they get you to check your problems. You can look at an example. You can go right to the textbook. Now what they're referring to in the textbook again is just a static PDF file. You're just looking at the book. So it's kind of like if you had it at home. And all your features are pretty much the same as before. Of course, they have the unit rate is highlighted. And if we move on to the next page, again, there's another your turn. Here's a different math trainer, math spot. If I'm not mistaken, I think these all start to be the same. You can work with that. And if we continue on, you can go through. Here's the guided practice. Guided practice is laid out. If you want to look at, again, save in my notebook. The more we work with this, the more I get familiar with this, then we're going to see about maybe what we're going to do going forward. And I can click right here and it will pull up the picture that I was working on the guided practice. You can zoom in, zoom out. And I think this over here is selected answers. There's a selected answer sheet towards the back that you can get to, and I'll show you where that is. So they show you what the selected answers. Now, let's be honest here. You can easily copy these down, put them in, and say, hey, I got it. But really, what are you doing for yourself? I would recommend that you simply try to do the best you can. And you can be kind of assured after some while, that I'll know what these are, and I'll make sure that I don't assign them. So, try. That's all I ever ask of you guys to do, is to try. And again, there's another practice here. So it kind of looks like, from before, okay? Just different questions. And then the last page for the homework. And now it moves into 4.2. Some other things that are going on over here on the left-hand side, you have resources that are available to you. So these are the personal math trainers. I think those are the links that you're going to get to. Any of the bookmarks that you had, okay? Notes that you might have taken. There is a way that you can make a note. You can read this and it'll show you how to do that. What kind of page do you want to look at it at? Right now we're in the center. You can do scrolling. So instead of going side to side, you can go up and down, okay, like you traditionally do for scrolling. And then they also have a page side by side. You can do a search, okay, whatever your typical search that you're looking for. And then they have some more features here. You can go right to your My Notebook. You can do print. You can go to a quick start guide, or there's My About. So those are things that you can explore. So I'm back on the next button here is the student resources. And it's just a listing, okay? This is just going to take you to a PDF version of the student book, which you guys have seen in class, of course. But for those of you who Spanish, we have the Spanish Interactive Student Edition, and then there are Spanish resources here. These are just a direct link to the videos. They're really the same ones that are in the ones that you just saw. So let's go take a look at the Student Interactive. So again, it's the interactive like the first one that I showed you, but it's in Spanish edition. So you would work through the same way. I just clicked on the ratios and proportions. Here's module 4. There's the lessons as you go through, and it's pretty much the same thing. If I clicked here on the Spanish Student Edition, now all this does is that this just opens up the static PDF file for the students in Spanish. As you can see here, everything's in Spanish for Spanish-speaking students. But it doesn't have that interaction bit. So I'm back to, so here's My Notebook. So when you click the My Notebook, then stuff was saved, okay? And these are, I didn't save anything from what I was showing you, but these are previous questions that I had done in the student's account. And then they're saved here. So then the thing with that is I can go in and comment also. You give me a means to look at your work, and then I can also provide feedback through this way. So that's kind of like an impromptu way that you can do getting me the work. This, I clicked up on the notes, and here I can, add a title. I don't know, Dr. Olmsted. I could type in a note. Hi. You can put it to a folder if you've created any folders. There's tags here if you're using that feature, and then come down and I save it. And it's now created the note. I could then go into mine and I could look at that. And what I did there when I opened it up on the sides here, there's a couple little hash marks. I can, just click on anywhere on that. Okay. So now the last piece is down here. It's my assignments. Okay, so for eccentricity, my period 4 class, I have assigned this module 4 ratios and proportionality pretest. You would click the start. Okay, there's some little details that you can have here. You see, is it timed? No. Can be paused? Yes. Can you view the assignment? Yes. Can you score the test? There's a note. Complete the pretest assignment, and based on the results, additional assignments could be made. So I do have an auto feature turned on that, based on how your results are, my understanding from the Go Math is that it will generate automatically some more assignments based on what is being done. And again, if you do great, wonderful. If you struggle, that's fine too. Based on your level, it's supposed to generate some comparable assignments as necessary. So that's the Go Math online system. Hopefully this helped you out in getting things started, and as with everything, we have more to learn, and can't wait to see you guys later. Bye bye.